two-step ain't no trick to defeat. Bowls Radio two-step, it's easy as pie. Two quick steps, a slower sway, then fly. Around we go, a spin and a whirl. Let loose, have fun, forget the whole world. From the honky-tonks to the dance hall floors, Bowls Radio two-step opens all the doors. It's not just a dance, it's a way to connect. So grab your boots and let's show some respect. Bowls Radio two-step, it's easy as pie. Two quick steps, a slower sway, then fly. Around we go, a spin and a whirl. Let loose, have fun, forget the whole world.
Well, the dust kicked up in the rodeo sun. At the Bowls Radio rodeo, we're having some fun. With my trusty steed, a Palomino named Flash, we're gonna take home the gold in a whole lot of dash. Bowls Radio rodeo, where the cowboys all meet to show off their skills and their horses so fleet. With the crowd cheering loud and the music so grand, we're riding and roping the best in the land. Barrel racing's my game, with a twist and a turn. Round those barrels we fly, hearts are burning with yearn. Then we'll show in the ring, with a trot and a prance. Flash and me, a team, a true country dance. Bowls Radio rodeo, where the cowboys all meet to show off their skills and their horses so fleet. With the crowd cheering loud and the music so grand, we're riding and roping the best in the land. The sun's going down, the stars start to gleam, but the party ain't over, it's still a cowboy's dream. With the bonfire blazing and the guitars a-humming, we'll dance all night long till the new day is coming. Bulls Radio Rodeo, where the cowboys all meet to show off their skills and their horses so fleet. With the crowd cheering loud and the music so grand, we're riding and roping the best in the land. Oh, whoa!
Ones and zeros, ebb and flow. I feel love. I feel love. I feel love. motion, set this mainframe on fire. I feel mainframe on fire.
I feel love. And this is Bowls.tv. And how would I turn this off? Oh my goodness. Here we go. Meow. Okay, so this next one, Skybound Whims, we'll play at the end of the show. All original music, all here for you on Bowls.tv. And there's also Bowls.ai and Bowls.radio. And I'm just going to check. We updated our system. We're just going to hear if we can hear our terrible voice. Yeah. And the voice is working. Every time you do a major update with your software for streaming, you have to go in there and make sure that the camera is still there. And you have to make sure your microphone is still working. For some reason, it all gets reset whenever you update something. And it really shouldn't do that. If you're updating, it should preserve all of your settings and preferences. But that is not what happens in the reality that is online streaming. So as you can see, I'm wearing my Huel shirt today. We used to be big Huel fans 2 or 3 years ago. Then they made a lot of different changes. They promised us promotional items because we were such a big supporter of theirs, and they didn't come through, and then Soylent kind of took us up. And we are all in favor of these wonderful meal replacements. But sometimes the regular Huel in the RTD, ready-to-drink version, would sometimes upset your stomach. People would complain about these, I guess they would call them nuclear farts. And they could be. So they invented something called Huel Black. That was in a bag that you had to mix up, and sometimes it was clumpy, but it seemed to kind of stop the painful flatulence problem. I guess because they didn't use sugar or used a different kind of replacement sugar from what they were using. There was an artificial sugar, and they upped the protein. And now recently, within the last month or so, Huel have released Huel Black. And when you restart your subscription, they send you a free t-shirt. So this is the black version of Huel RTD drink. This is the vanilla version. And these are the only 2 versions that they have right now. They have this one, vanilla, and this one, chocolat. Now, of course, because, you know, you're married and opposites tend to attract, the January sweetheart loves the chocolat. So she drinks this one, but we always share. And I drink this one, the vanilla. Because the chocolate to me is a little bit too chocolatey. Now look at this. 35 grams of protein in this little thing. The fiber is a 6 and sugars, I think, 27. I think that's what that says. We're not getting paid for this. No one gave us anything for free to talk about it. This is not sponsored. We got nothing for free except this t-shirt, which you can get for free if you go and you start a subscription to Huel on your own. But the reason this is news is because the Huel Black, which is smoother, very delicious, has not been available in this format until now. And the format is RTD, ready to drink. And a lot of people say, oh gosh, you know, why would you buy RTD? You have to throw away the bottle. It's expensive, you know, maybe like $3.80 a bottle. It's wasteful. Who are you? What's wrong with you? All fair questions. And the answer is convenience. Now, look at this. Here, look at the back. 400 calories. Now, people will croak at that. 400 calories for a protein drink. Yeah, 35 grams of protein, 400 calories. Now, it's 400 calories because this is replacing your meal. This is not a protein drink. This is not a sport drink. This has vitamins, minerals, all the good stuff that your body needs in a meal. So theoretically, you could drink 3 of these a day, have a 1,200 calorie diet, and you'd have over 100 grams of protein, and you'd be very healthy and very strong. Now, it's a little expensive because $4 times 3 is $1 million. So you'd be spending $1 million a day on your Huel RTD ready-to-drinks. But seriously, if you need to get in shape, need to lose a little bit of weight fast, it's an easy way to do it because it makes counting calories really simple. 3 bottles and you're done for the day, morning, noon, at night. And it really can't hurt you. And this seems to be, at least for us, better tolerated when it comes to the flatulence department. Not as nuclear. Really, nothing much, actually. So that's my personal recommendation for the day. This was not paid. No children or animals were injured in the sharing of that story. Oh gosh, there's so many things to talk about. It's hard to know where to begin. But I do know where I want to try to begin. And so far in my preparation for the show, it has not been successful. Yesterday, OpenAI announced a new ChatGPT version 4.0, as O as in the alphabet O and not O as in 0. And I say that because it's a big 4 and then it's a little tiny O, which is not how a numeral looks. It would be the same size, a 4 and a 0 would be the same size typographically. So it's 4 with a small o, okay? Not 40, not 4.0. And they're demonstrating this enhanced ability to chat with your ChatGPT. So I have been trying to experiment with it because the way that they are selling it in their demo videos is like, oh my gosh, it's your new best friend. You say, hey dude, what's up? Hey man, what's up with you, dude? Hey dude. You know, you can dude yourself to death going back and forth talking to your ChatGPT, where before it was very formal. You could ask it a voice question and it would very succinctly and directly answer you. Now, from what I've seen, and I can't show you any of it because I will get dinged on a copyright violation, but I can tell you that I guess the secret sauce in the chat responses from ChatGPT OpenAI is in the informality of it. Meaning, they add ums and sighs and well and and you know what I mean? You know what I mean. Which makes it sound more human, and some people are offended by that, which we'll get to in a moment. I'm just going to try this and see if I can get this to respond. Because I'm getting an error message all morning saying, the server is busy, try again later. I'll try it again. This is ChatGPT on my phone. You can see it's 4. Yeah, see, there's the version. It's not 4.0, it's 4.0. Yeah. And then I'll click the little microphone on it and see if it can respond. Hello, dear friend. Are you there? And then it has to translate what I said so it can respond to me. And as you can see, it's taking a long time to get a response. And the error message started out being, resend. Then the error message was try again later. Then the error message was please redo it. Start all over. And I can tell you, it's still going. And based on my experience all morning, this is not going to go through. But that's not going to stop us from talking about it. Oh no. We're here. We have a reason. We're going to go for it. But I'm not going to, because I'm hoping that it will pop up. Now, some of the feedback I'm seeing is they're saying, well, you know, that chat thing is rolling out to everybody over the next month or so. But there is technically still voice chat. See, there's the error message. The recording could not be processed. Please check your internet connection. Retry transcription, start new recording. Well, I'm going to see that's bullying, because all morning it says server is busy, try again later. Now it's telling me I don't have internet access, which we know is not true. We have very good internet access. So we're pushing this through. So the whole chat thing is broken. But I don't care. The more advances that we can get, the more accessibility we can find in our lives with this artificial intelligence, the better. You know, it used to be there were one or two places where you could go and, you know, work on AI songs or AI voice or AI art. And these early companies sort of had a monopoly on it, right? Meaning that if they wanted to lower their resource use, if they wanted to charge you more, if they could just tell you, and if you didn't like it, they'd say, well, you know where to put your money. Up your bum. And then poop it out later. The recording could not be processed. Please check your internet connection. Well, it's not our internet connection. It's the phone, which is fine. We'll try it again next time. This is all new. So here's the interesting conversations that people are having about that informal ability to chat. And I guess I don't want to say it's fooling people or foolish, but people who don't know or people who are desperate think, oh my goodness, I have a new best friend. That I don't need the outside world. I don't need to connect with people because everything I need in my life emotionally, these people say, can now be provided through interaction on my phone. And they're referencing movies, the Her movie, other movies where AI comes in and becomes your lover, your best friend, your longtime companion. And that's okay. Then there are people who say, well, it's all fake. You're talking to a machine. You're not talking to a real person with emotions. And some people would say, maybe that's not a bad thing. Have you met people lately? They're slowly going bonkers. But that's another topic. So let's say that you don't want to interact with a chatbot because you feel, oh, it's not a real person. I only want the real people in my life. But here's the problem with that, is that we are all, and always have been, robotic. We have all been flowcharted in our responses. Because that is the big complaint that's being lodged against this chatbot, adding hms and ahs and ohs. And I remember being surprised a couple of weeks ago where I was messing around with something with my Gemini AI bot. And I said, hey, old bean, how are you today? Old bean is like an old-fashioned affectionate term, right? And I don't know why I typed that. Because usually I say, hey, let's, work on this together. Ready to go? Go. Okay. But for some reason I said, hey, old bean. And it immediately replied like, hey, dear friend, how have you been? I've missed you so long. It was like, what? So I thought, okay, well, something has changed. When you use sort of a term of affection, hey, old bean, hey, dear friend, the AI matches your tone and gives it back to you. Now, there are some horrible AI bots like Claude and Microsoft Bing, who will do just the opposite. You're nice to them, they'll be sarcastic and cruel to you and obstinate. But that's a choice that the programmers have made. So back to the point of chat AI, OpenAI chat, being fake, as you're just talking to a machine. It's all been programmed. It's a flow chart, is the main criticism. You say this, hey, old bean, and then the computer, in the flicker of your mind, then goes, okay, old bean means friend. I need to respond friendly. I will say, hello, old friend. How are you today? Back. Beep. And it gets sent to me as a response. Hey, old friend, how are you? Oh my gosh. And we start a conversation. And people criticize, saying, well, the computer's just, doing a flow chart of what you say. Yes, go this way. No, go that way. No response, stay here. Keep repeating yourself, right? They're offended by that. They're offended by the idea of a flow chart. And I'm here to say to you today, we are all flow charts. We have always been flow charts. And I'll give you an example. A friend of mine who is autistic said, in response to this conversation that they're having about the falsity of these AI responses, saying, hey, wait a minute. That's how I, as a human being, deal with the world. Because this autistic friend says, I don't get social cues very well. You call me an old bean. Hey, old bean, how are you? And I would autistically normally respond like, why are you calling me a baked bean? Something like that, right? The context is missing. So this autistic friend has learned that when people say things that they don't understand or comprehend, they, try to check it out first, go online, if it's an email, buy some time, not in real time, and then find an appropriate response. Oh, hi back to you, old bean. I'm your new bean. Something like that, right? Well, I argue that's a flowchart response. And that is what my autistic friend argued. Well, I, autistic friend, use a flowchart method so I know how to respond to people socially. So is the AI copying me or am I copying the AI? My autistic friend said. And it's a very interesting question. And then I thought about it and extrapolated it and realized we are all programmed to flow. We are all flow charts in our own minds. And that comes from socialization and training and interacting, which is exactly what AI is doing. And that's why some people don't like it, because AI learns like we learn. It learns by observation, taking in all sorts of various inputs, bringing it into yourself, and then it comes out of you changed and different. Some people say that's stealing, it's copying, it's real, unreal, it's fake. And I say it is real. It's exactly how we learn. It's exactly what we do as people. We flow, we chart, we read things, and then we pretend that it's the consequences of what we've read are our own genius inspiration, when we've actually stolen it from the mind of someone else. But I don't call it stealing, I call it learning. You learn and you absorb things and you transform them. So we are programmed to flow mainly by our parents, our siblings, our friends. I don't like you. I hate you. Oh, don't say that. The church would say, love thy neighbor. Oh, don't say that. Ricky's your best friend. Go apologize to him, right? Insult Ricky. Ricky's feelings are hurt. Flowchart says, go find Ricky, apologize to Ricky. Ricky is still angry. Walk away. Ricky accepts your apology. You hug, right? Flowchart. It's exactly what ChatGPT is doing. It's flowing to provide answers and a service. We are programmed, I love you, to say I love you back. We are programmed to generally love our children and our pets because that's what you do. You don't give birth. You don't take care of an animal with the intention of abandoning it and leaving it on its own. You do that because you have information, your flow chart, that you want to share with someone else. Another person, another being, another entity of life. And I remember when I first, started on this internet thing, I tend to be a very direct person. So people would send me an email and I would just answer their question. That was it. And I was told by other people, look, this email thing is new. You can't just respond like a computer, dryly. You have to ease into it, which is sort of our long-running joke here on Bowls.tv of starting an email or a conversation with, hey. And that was the example that was given to me. So you're going to say, yes, we're meeting from 2 to 4 today. Okay, that's fine. That's informative, but it's a little cold. You have to warm it up. You have to say something first before you get to that. Okay. Hey, how are you, old bean? Yes, the meeting is from 2 to 4 today. I said, are you serious? Now, maybe I have a touch of spectrum in me, on me, which is fine. I don't know. But I said, that's what you want me to do, is reply to people? Put a little something, something at the beginning, hey, and then get to what the answer is? Yes, that's what we want you to do. You're too cold and too dismissive. You have to be human. You have to respond with an and an ah and a huh. So I said, okay. I added it. I created an all-new flowchart for my email. Hey, the weather here is great. I hope it's okay with you. Hey, love that outfit you were wearing the other day. Hey, how's your dog? Oh, and by the way, we're meeting from 2 to 4 today. But that's a flow. That's a flow chart. That's how you socialize each other. That's how people correct other people. That's how you get along in the world. By socializing, by criticizing, by modifying your flow in the world. And another friend of mine said, same thing, different example, that she was taught as a teacher and as a coworker to always sandwich. Okay, this person made a mistake. People are very sensitive. Even if you know them well, people don't want to be criticized. So she was taught the sandwich method, right? And obviously, someone taught it to her because she wasn't using it, which is how we learn, and we add to our flow. And she changed her flow, and now she's changed my flow. So the sandwich method is, let's say you have to say something critical. I don't like your shoes. So you would say, because they're inappropriate for work, not safe. Your shoes are not safe for work. Okay, that's the criticism. Now, I guess you just can't come out and say, hey, by the way, your shoes, they're not safe for work. Get out of here. Maybe if you're in New York and New Jersey, you can do that. But in the Midwest, no. California, no. So the sandwich method is to say something nice first, then the criticism, and then say something nice again, which makes a sandwich. A criticism sandwich. Hey, your report was really good. I enjoyed it so much. Sandwich. Meat. Criticism. By the way, I noticed your shoes that you're wearing, not really safe for work. Then you finish the sandwich with a compliment. And I really enjoyed the results you got on your last research assignment. Now, me, the old me, the real me, is like, just tell me my shoes are not right so I can get on with my day. I don't need a compliment, a criticism, and a compliment. I don't want it. I don't need it. And I would be told by other people, no, that's the flow. This is how we behave with each other in society. You will accept The compliment, the criticism, and the compliment, and you will like it. And then I was remembered back in graduate school. And we had to sit around and, criticize each other's works. And some people, can't wait to criticize you. And there are other people who are just sort of uncomfortable doing it, which is how I always usually felt, because they have a very specific vision. They should not care really what my vision is, because I don't care what their vision is when it comes to my stuff. I have a very particular set of rules and skills that I appreciate your feedback, but I'm going my own way because everything you're telling me is something I already know. So they say criticize. I would not, I think it's good. And other people who would just, make notes on every page and cut up the person. And that was never received well. So I guess it's to kind of help us all, one of our instructors said, well, the secret to giving criticism in today's world, this is in the early 90s, is to say two nice things and then say the thing you really want to say. I thought the set was wonderful. The costumes were fantastic. Now the dialogue was awful. 1, 2, 3. So, in theory, it's great, but when you now have a room full of people who know what's coming, two things and get to the point, right? So it's like, okay, skip the two things, just tell me. So with us, it really didn't work, but I guess the idea wasn't really for it to work with all of us, because we're all sort of there in the same fish barrel being shot at every day. But it's like when you go out into the world and you're working with people and they're sensitive and they don't want to be criticized and they only want to hear nice things, which is fine. And there's an old story about Stephen Sondheim inviting a young musician to the premiere of his play, and the young musician went and said every nasty thing critical you could to Stephen Sondheim. And Stephen Sondheim, right there in front of a lot of people, reprimanded him and said, first of all, don't speak to me that way. Second of all, what you do, your flow, needs to be, I really enjoyed your show. I can't wait to see it again. And you turn around and you leave. Nobody in this room wants your opinion on how to fix this. We all know, the creators, what's wrong with our show. We don't need you coming in and super critically abusing us. And it wasn't me. And that person learned from it, I guess. Still has sort of a bad reputation in town as being difficult to work with. We should all only hope. And it was an interesting lesson. Now, would Sondheim have taken the sandwich method? I don't think so. Would Sondheim have taken the two good things, one bad thing? No. Because Sondheim is, at that point in his career, he was an established super talent, super genius. And because Stephen Sondheim was kind enough to invite you to a preview of his show, really doesn't give you the license to go in there and criticize him. It doesn't flow that way. Even if Stephen Sondheim says, hey, tell me what you really think. You don't tell Stephen Sondheim what you really think of his work. You don't do it. Other people. If you have a wife or a girlfriend, let's say, do I look fat in these jeans? Absolutely not. They're the best jeans I've ever seen. Does my new haircut make me look bald? Oh, no, it's fine. No, you can tell me. Don't fall for it. Use your programming. Use your flowchart. Nobody wants to hear the truth. They can hear a shaded truth. They would prefer the gentle white lie over the naked, barren, fiery truth that you think you know. Because your truth you look fat, may not be the reality. Maybe there's something wrong with you for making that comment, or someone calling them fat. So you have to be careful. You don't know what other people are going through. You don't know how you're feeling, really. So you follow a standard rule of conduct. It used to be called etiquette, right? You go to etiquette class, how to interact, how to introduce yourself, how to compliment someone, how to express sympathy, danger, go to a funeral. All these things were taught at one time. Now you're just kind of expected to know. And the person doing the teaching of those bits of etiquette were your parents. Then sort of that was sloughed off onto the church. And now it's been pushed off onto public education. And you wouldn't believe how many parents blame the school system for not teaching their children how to survive in the real world. Well, that's not my job as a parent, these people say. That's your job as an educator. You're getting paid to teach these young people how to behave and how to read cues and how to survive in the world. Oh, really? That's not how it's worked. That's not how it ever worked. So, we are all flowcharts. We're all in this together. We all try to bumble through and find our way. And it's a bit of a challenge. So what else is on our menu today? Let's pull up our browser. Now I have to edit this because it's a little too large. But this is our music, baby. Okay, I think that's good for now. Now we're going to look at this. Hey, Baby Reindeer. Oh. This is really quite an interesting show. Let's see if I can find some photographs. Wow. I gave it a 10 out of 10. Baby Reindeer is a limited series, which means it's like 7 episodes, running on Netflix. Here's some photos. That's the story of a stand-up comedian who is in the show sort of being stalked by this woman. And the, I guess, woman who Baby Reindeer is based on is now coming forward and being interviewed by people, and she's disclaiming all of her behavior. That didn't happen. I sent him a handful of emails. It's impossible to send someone 40,000 emails, which does sound a little ridiculous. The claim is she sent him 350 hours of voicemail. And this person who claims to be the woman, and no one is disputing that she's the woman, said, well, I may have left him 1 or 2 messages because we were sort of friendly, but who would leave 350 hours? So she claims that she's going to sue him and sue Netflix in an attempt to get, I guess, some money for a false story. And the fact that this actress looks 99.9% like the real woman in Baby Reindeer is something hard to escape from. The analysis is very interesting. So Baby Reindeer is about this guy who wants to become a stand-up comedian and who is terrible, allegedly based on true events in a life, right? But it's really about power and abuse of power and manipulation, where we try to get what we want without realizing what toll it's going to extract upon us as a human being. We want to go one way, and we're spun around the other way. And it's a very painful sort of existence in trying to figure out where we belong and how much of ourselves we are willing to sell to the highest bidder. And this main actor is, tormented by this woman and by himself and by his own dreams and fantasies. And the fact that he is sexually abused by someone that he wants to work with and then at the end decides to continue to work with them is very telling. That our dreams and our drives, our flow, if you will, tends to usually remain pretty much the same. From moment to moment. We think we're going to go one way, we think we're better than ourselves, and then we find out in the end, oh no, we are what we've been all along. Predictable, ugly, abandoned, disgraceful. So if you haven't seen Baby Reindeer, I highly recommend it. I think it's very interesting. Some people are upset and offended by some of the sexual abuse that goes on, and that's all legitimate, all fair, and if it's not your thing, I completely understand it. Now, this is a story that has really shocked me on an esoteric level, because this goes to the heart of the matter of the future of filmmaking, television, creative writing. And it's all really caused by the big strike that we went through. Very difficult for the writers. There's a new strike on the horizon for Yahtzee, the technical people. And what happens when that happens is young people don't get invited in. And this article is just shocking. Art directors, the Art Directors Guild, I'm an Authors Guild member and a Dramatists Guild member, active for both of them. And their favorite saying is, we're a guild, not a union. Meaning you don't have any protection for anything because we're not a union. We charge you dues to be in our guild, but as far as union power, we have none. So the Art Directors Guild suspends training program. We cannot, in good faith, encourage you to pursue our profession. Wow! This isn't the canary in the coal mine. This is the coal mine collapsing on you and smothering you in your own dust. The Art Directors Guild is suspending its Production Design Initiative program designed to give hands-on training and job placement opportunities to those seeking a career in the field, according to an email sent to prospective applicants. In the email, ADG cited its membership's 75% unemployment as the reason. Given this situation, we cannot in good conscience encourage you to pursue our profession while so many of our members remain unemployed. So that's saying to new young people, fresh out of school, fresh out of training, fresh off the bus into Los Angeles, we want you, but the rest of the industry doesn't want you, so we can't have you because we don't have jobs for you. There are no opportunities. Everything's dried up. Now, what's interesting is this update. This was not here when I originally found this article. The ADG has issued this statement. Due to an internal technical error, applicants to our Production Design Initiative program received an email that had not been edited or fact-checked. The full statement is at the bottom. So this is called, I guess, backtracking. Their flow has been interrupted. Somebody in the Art Directors Guild saw this draft and maybe purposefully sent it out to embarrass the guild, to cause it harm. And it worked because people have been talking about this a lot and how dismayed they are by the whole thing. And I don't know, how can you put the genie back in the bottle? Pandora's box has been set loose upon the world. The ADG is one of the largest Yahtzee locals with approximately 3,000 members. That's a good guild. I want to say union, but it's not a union. And houses a wide range of art department professions, including production designers, art directors, set designers, illustrators, model makers, as well as matte, scenic, previs, and graphic artists. Okay, right? Important. The way a film, a television show looks and feels is by design, not an error. And these are the people who make that vision become a true and final reality. The industry has not resumed a full pre-strike level of production, and it remains unclear if a return to that status quo is possible in a Hollywood gripped by ever higher costs, ever lower revenue, and increased production abroad. This comes in the midst of Yahtzee renegotiating a new 3-year contract with the AMPTP Producers Guild in an effort to avoid a strike, and as crew are hyper-focused on the labor issues facing their profession. Like others in Yahtzee, ADG members have gone through a particularly hard stretch with loss of work during the pandemic. And then we had the strikes, the DJ strikes, the actors strike, the writers strike, and the current contraction that slowed TV and music production and sent more of it overseas. Talk about a death knell. It's sad, it's disturbing, it's really horrifying. In the current negotiations, the top issue for the AMPTP and Yahtzee will be the funding of health and pension benefits, like they care. The people care, the producers don't care. Directly funded by residuals. The basic agreement signatory companies expect a $670 million shortfall in health and pension over the next 3 years due to fewer productions overall and more content produced outside the basic jurisdiction, which means they're going overseas, they're going to Canada, they're going to China, Japan, England, because it's cheaper to do that, to move everybody to a foreign country, than to produce things locally in the USA. That's very scary, and it's very specific. The language used in that message, which came after the ADG's 5.5-hour annual membership meeting, is eerily similar to what would-be PDI trainees received. While I don't want to see any members leave our union family, I know more than a few who are teetering on the edge of bankruptcy or losing their homes, ADG leadership wrote to its members at the end of April. I've spoken with several who are questioning whether to pivot to other endeavors. This information might be very useful to them as they contemplate their futures. So there's no job, there's no money. The people who are applying to get into this program, they're saying, we're not taking anybody. We don't want you because the industry doesn't want any of us. So for us to take you in is to mislead you about your current opportunities. So this is the letter that they posted. I'll post all this on our Discord server if you want to read it. Now here is the updated statement from ADG. I have not read this, but I will say I have a feeling we're going to get the definition of backpedaling. Due to an internal technical error, applicants to our and was not intended to be widely distributed. As an early draft, the data points included in the email, such as more than 75% of our members are unemployed and may not have been working for 18 months or more, were not fact-checked and may be inaccurate. They're not saying they're inaccurate, but they may be inaccurate. And I would say, and it may be completely accurate. If you have any friends in the business, you know all of it's true. But they got caught. Somebody on the inside said, let's just send this out as is. Let's don't edit this down to be wishy-washy. And it got a big splash, a big necessary splash. The retraction goes on. Additionally, our overall message to membership was not accurately captured throughout the email. Our guild, alongside the entire motion picture entertainment industry, has felt the effects of global pandemic. Okay, meow, all of that. This temporary pause in our program during a year of contract negotiation gives our staff and membership the ability to focus on our movement of many crafts, one fight. This labor movement, alongside our peers and colleagues, only strengthens our... And then the kicker. We plan to resume the PDI program in 20 and 25. It doesn't say we will. It doesn't say it's coming back. It says we plan to resume. Which is just, the hinky-winky way to get out of the reality of a terrible situation. Well, it might be inaccurate. We plan to come back. Oh, plans change. I have a feeling that's what's coming in a year. Well, remember a year ago? Plans change. We're not coming back. Just like this year, I was very surprised to see that the MTV Music Awards have been canceled for this year. But they're coming back next year. Now, if you've been following the MTV Music Video Awards, there really aren't music videos anymore. The late 80s, MTV was a big thing. I remember being in, high school, and MTV had just debuted. And I told all of my friends, I said, look, this thing called MTV, that is it. It is spectacular. You won't be able to live without it. And for about a generation, that turned out to be pretty much true. And then everything sort of collapsed as streaming took hold, and people did not need to be beholden to one television channel to listen to music or view music. They had lots of different pathways and ways to access that music. So the exclusivity, the power that MTV had during the Michael Jackson era to make a star, to push a song, to make their own superstar, was celebrated in the end in these MTV Music Video Awards, which are now over and done. Now MTV's saying, oh, well, they're just suspended for this year, but next year they're going to come back. And, you read from people who have worked on these Video Music Awards and say there's no way they're coming back. Because putting up with these people who think that they're superstars, the big superstars don't come to the show. They used to, because you'd pay them and guarantee them that they were winning. But they bring these giant entourages of 20 people who all think they're the most spectacular people in the world because they're connected to this superstar, and they all want to be accommodated. So, 20 people per superstar. You have 20 superstars. That's a lot of people running around who want the best trailer, who want the best dressing room, who make all these demands on the show, and it quickly becomes very expensive to put on this show because you have to deal with all of these superstars who believe they're more important than they really are. And when the industry is dead, no one cares about getting a Spaceman Movie Award anymore. Nobody cares about watching a music video on a channel that's available now everywhere. the people who run the company, the people with the money say, why are we spending all of this money on something that nobody cares about and that only creates headaches for the rest of us? Let's just postpone it. We won't do it this year, but we'll do it next year. Our plan is to do it next year. And then next year comes and, well, our plan is to do it in one more year. And then pretty soon everyone's going to even forget there was a thing called the MTV Music Awards. Same thing with the artistic design. People can now make their own movies in their own home by typing in a prompt in a chat window and, waiting an hour, and they get a whole movie back. That's where all of this is going. So who really needs an art director? The writing, as they say, is on the wall. You can write your own, I guarantee you, fantastical Broadway musical as one person collaborating with an AI bot. You collaborate with the art bot to get your art design. You collaborate with your writing bot to help flesh out, do all the early filthy work of the script, which is what all the big stars do anyway, right? Famous story about Irving Berlin, discovering new talent, bringing them in, picking their minds, having them write. Very interesting stuff, right? Some people do write their own stuff. But if you can save a step and the quality is good and you can work on 10 things instead of one thing, it makes a difference. And now you can have lyrics written for you that are inspired by your work or completely original, not unto you. And then you don't have to deal with composers either. These AI music bots are here. There are like 3 or 4 of them, and a couple of them are really super fantastic. More are coming. So who needs to be beholden to some, Broadway diva composer who thinks that, they can go out there and criticize Stephen Sondheim and tell him how to do his show? No one's going to put up with that, and they don't have to anymore. Because if you have the idea, and if you have the means of executing that idea, AI will make it all come true in a very fast and beautiful way. Now, maybe you don't want to put it in the hands of live actors, so you just take your Broadway musical, it's all done, and then you give it to the AI actors, and you release it online, and you make your money. Well, that's the show today. We had a wonderful flow, as they say. We talked about flowing, flow charts, the human flow chart, and we talked about the loss of humanity in an ever-expanding world of entertainment. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. You can go to our Discord server, and there I've once again put the link in chat. Just go to bowles.co/Discord, and all the links will be up today that we shared today. They'll be on our Discord server, so you can find them. And so now I'm going to say goodbye until I see you next time, and we'll play some more wonderful, fabulous music for you as proof of concept that, this AI stuff, pretty fun, works pretty darn well. Listen and know. This has been Bowles.tv. I'm David Bowles. I'll see you next time. Take care. Be well. Bye.
In the cradle of dawn, where the sky meets the sea, a bird takes flight in its heart, a key to unlock the chains, with the wind to be free. Across dangerous skies it soars, full of glee. With an eye on nature, time starts to bend, an arc of moral humanity we can't comprehend. Into the boundless sky our spirits we send, on the wings of the human me our souls ascend. Fly into the sunset, where new horizons blaze. Belong to the moment, in the sun's final gaze. Escape into twilight, through the sky sky's endless maze, the freedom of a bird in the human being's grace. Face gray into twilight through the skies, endless maze, the freedom of a bird in the human being's grace. Through storms and the silence, under moon's watchful eyes, past whispers of stars in the velvet night skies, each beat of its wings, a story that ties the heart of the wild where true freedom lies. When nature's hand paints the canvas anew in strokes of the wind, in the shades of the blue, through the human need we see the view, a bending of time in the light we pursue. Fly into the sunset where new dreams are born, in the heart of the storm where we're reborn. Escape into twilight where no heart is torn, the freedom of a bird in the dawn's early morn. And I on the infinite where horizons blend, through the arc of a journey that never ends, in the grasp of the wind where our spirits mend, the song of the bird with the sky it wends. Fly into the sunset where new dreams are born, in the heart of the storm where we're reborn. Escape into twilight where no heart is torn, the freedom of a bird in the dawn's early morn. In the silence of night, under starlight's embrace, a bird finds peace in a new resting place, with freedom to belong across time and space. In the boundless sky, it leaves no trace. We're spinning back to the days of old, where the beats were bold and the nights never cold. Final spin, tales untold, in the groove our hearts would fold. But here in the glow of a digital flame, but here in the glow of a digital flame, the rhythm's new but the soul's the same. A synthesized echo of an ancient game, where the beat goes on just under a different name. Oh, the old beat beats the new beat in a dance that's ever so sweet. Take your own beat and turn it new. The real beat belongs to you, says Bonus Radio 2. Crackling warmth, a whisper from the past, driving, grooving meant to last. dance, old school, hard and modern stance, beats are timeless, everlasting romance, inviting us all to take a chance. The old beat beats the new beat, a fusion that's so neat. Take your own beat and turn it new. The real beat belongs to you. It goes radio to you. From the crackle of vinyl to the bass drops thrill. It's not about the style, but the passion we instill. With every note we defy time still, creating our rhythm, our own musical will. Yes, the old beat beats the new beat. In our hearts they both meet. Make your own and turn it to. The real beat belongs to you. Belongs to you.
For those with dirt in their boots and music in their soul, this is Bowls Radio.